When faced with the difficult challenge of describing high school in only one word, there are endless possibilities. Fun, hard, stressful, social, agonizing, and the list goes on. However, there is one word that is both a prominent element of the concept of high school and an element that often gets ignored, a big scary word that begins with A, acceptance. You may only know me as the girl who plays soccer, the girl who is constantly taking naps around the school during her free periods, the girl who happens to be cousins with every single person you ever meet at the school. Or maybe you have never seen or heard of me and you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But my name is Sophia McMahon, and this is my senior stage. I would consider my background pretty common. I don't have a hyper-interesting story about a moment when I discovered who I was or what kind of person I wanted to be. And I can't think of one particularly unique, defining moment in my personal development. As a child, I did everything that I believe every average child loves to do. I loved to be outside. I loved standing in front of my fireplace and putting on performances in front of my family as if I were singing in Madison Square Garden. I loved to draw pictures of everything, even though most of the time that drawing went downhill very quickly, and I would opt for writing my name in bubble letters and call it a day. And of course, I was a die-hard fan of High School Musical. I had the soundtracks to all the movies. I made sure to learn the biggest dance routines, and I was severely in love with Troy Bolton. Not Zac Efron, Troy Bolton. I would write Troy plus Sophia equals love on my bathroom mirror when it would fog up when I took a shower. And I seriously think if he had asked me to marry him when I was at the mature age of 10, I would have 100% said yes. Regardless of my fantasy love interests, I would wish more than anything that I could go to a school like East High. Harsh reality smacked me in the face as I got older and realized that no such school existed. I gave up on my dream of living out the plot of the movie, and I carried on with my daily life. What I didn't know, though, was that when I made the transfer to Shady Side Academy in 6th grade, I was coming as close to going to East High as I believe is possible in the real world. No, I'm not talking about a school where there are large musical numbers that begin with a single person singing about their feelings so passionately that everyone around them joins in and automatically knows the words and choreography. Instead, I'm talking about a school where, like in High School Musical, individuality is encouraged and, most of all, celebrated. When the senior class first got the email about signing up for a senior stage, I didn't give it a second glance. In fact, I probably didn't even open it. I couldn't imagine that I would have any words of wisdom to give to all of you that hadn't been said 2 billion times before. But then, I started thinking about what I wish someone had told me when I came to high school. The most important thing I could think of was acceptance, and what a powerful, but sometimes dangerous role acceptance plays in our society. I wish I had been told the difference between seeking the acceptance of other people and being able to accept yourself. From the very first day of school, so many of us make acceptance the goal. We want to be accepted by our peers, we want to be accepted by our teachers, and we want to be accepted into our dream college. We begin comparing ourselves to others, and we hold expectations for ourselves on how we should look, how we should think, and how we should act to make other people like us. We amplify our insecurities and become blind to all the amazing qualities that each one of us has. We tell ourselves that we need to conform to what other people want us to be, and we tell ourselves we will never be successful unless we make other people or schools like us, even if that means completely changing ourselves in the process. One day, walking back from assembly this year, one of my best friends, Trinity, casually told me she saw a statistic that high schoolers today have the same stress levels as psychiatric patients in the early 1950s. Neither of us know how accurate that statement actually is. All I know is that it didn't seem hard to believe based on the tremendous pressures that each high schooler places on him or herself. I'd like to call my high school experience my own personal years of trial and error. When I looked back at my freshman and sophomore years, I recognized how valid Trinity's statistic actually is. I worried about having the most friends, having the best grades, and giving myself the best chances of getting into a school of my choice. I stressed over things that were out of my control. By the time I finished those years, I was sleep-deprived, stressed out, and could only focus on possible hurdles that could stand in my way. I was fixated on becoming the person that I thought everyone else wanted me to be. It took a bit of time, but I realized that I didn't want to spend my time focusing on ways I could change myself to be the person that I thought others would accept. Instead, I would spend my remaining 2 years at Shady Side Academy trying to find myself. I wanted to focus on improvement rather than change. This is the biggest piece of advice that I believe I could give to you. Make the same decision for yourself to work on improvement of your character rather than completely changing yourself. Spend your high school years finding yourself and finding the things that you enjoy, and finding activities, hobbies, and people that will make you happy. Getting good grades and getting into your dream college will not guarantee your happiness. The rush of getting accepted, having good ACT and SAT scores, or having a high GPA will wear off with time, and if you spend every second of your experience focusing on them, you will forget how to enjoy your life to the fullest, and you will lose pieces of yourself and individuality along the way. Having the most friends is not what is important, especially if you feel you have to change yourself to be friends with them. Our school is overflowing with kids and teachers that each offer different viewpoints. Find friends who help you improve and who support you and give you confidence to just be yourself. I found some of my best friends over the last 4 years, and even though it took me a while to get to them, it was all worth it because I found the people that I would go to the ends of the earth for if I had to, and I know they would do the same for me. One of my good friends continually asks me at the end of the day, "Did you make a new friend today?" While the question could seem random or irrelevant, it opens your eyes to a new kind of attitude to carry throughout your life. Your future best friend could be the kid who sits next to you during your math class, or the kid who you always see in the trainer's office. If you're feeling lost or alone, keep your eyes open and always be willing to meet someone new. Give everyone the time of day, because you never know the value that one person could bring to your life until you break the barrier and begin a conversation. Shady Side Academy is my own personal high school musical because here we take pride in individuality. This school will always accept you for who you are, even if you haven't yet learned how to accept yourself. Shady Side Academy is not a school where doing well in your classes makes you a loser, or being an athlete or a jock automatically puts you at the top of the food chain with everyone else beneath you. This school is one of a kind in the sense that you have the freedom to be whoever and whatever you want to be, and you can always find at least one person who will support you no matter what. Never ever take this for granted. Spend your time here taking risks and trying new things in order to develop your own individuality. If you find a class that you're interested in, take it, no matter how hard it may seem. If you find a club or a sport that you think you would enjoy, join it, no matter how little you know about the topic or no matter how bad you might think you are. Shady Side Academy will support you every step of the way. You are one of a kind, and you are who you are for a reason. Use this school as a tool to finding your own individuality, because at the end of the day, no college, no clique, and nobody can take your originality away from you. There are some things in life that we just can't change. This has been a very difficult pill for me to swallow, trust me, and I'm still learning to even today. Don't waste your time worrying about your lack of control over some aspects of your life, such as the stresses of the future. Instead, focus on right now. Challenge yourself to take the risks that will make you a better version of yourself. What will make you a better student, a better friend, a better teammate, a better person? Don't put off self-improvement until a couple of years from now. Begin today, and don't be afraid to make mistakes along the way, because there could not be a more forgiving and supportive environment in the world than where you are right now. As I look back on my 4 years of high school, I am grateful for every experience, the good and the bad, academic and social, because they have allowed me to learn and to at least begin finding little pieces of myself that I don't believe I would have been able to find anywhere else. You will end up where you need to be later on down the road, I promise you. Allow yourself to find your happiness here and now and decide to accept yourself. Every accomplishment, every flaw, and every insecurity. Shady Side Academy already has. No one else can make the decision but you. The ball is in your court. Thank you.